There was a time when Bella Ramsey was hailed as the bold breakout star of The Last of Us, the face of a new generation of television. Fresh off the success of season 1, she had everything going for her. A leading role in one of HBO's most celebrated video game adaptations, a flood of media attention, and fans who believed she could do no wrong. But fast forward just one season, and Bella Ramsey's rise turned into one of the most unexpected downfalls in recent television history. Now, instead of being celebrated, she's become a symbol of how fast Hollywood can flip on you, and how sometimes it might be for good reason.
Change up your impression at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the noise is the same. I've not got any more noises in my back pocket. The new infected are pretty terrifying. They're so smart, and they haven't really got a noise. That's the whole point of them. They're silent and terrifying.
Ooh, give us a little silent and terrifying.
Like most people, I liked the first season. I thought they did a great job. Season 2, I was skeptical on them not recasting Ellie and keeping Bella Ramsey as Ellie because it's supposed to take place 5 years into the future, but obviously Bella Ramsey in real life was not going to age that much in, the 2 years it took between seasons. So in the show, Ellie still looks exactly the same, but is supposed to be 5 years older. Also, Ellie still acts exactly the same. For some reason, they made the decision for The Last of Us Season 2 to make Ellie dumb, to the point where she even says that she's stupid. Why? That just kind of betrays the character.
I'm sorry. That was acting. That's what that was. I don't really care what happens with this movie. I really hope her career is pretty much over. I'd be thrilled to see that. I can't imagine. Christian.
Ellie still looks and acts like a 14-year-old from season 1, even though she's supposed to be 19.
Joel, I think I found something.
Whoa!
What?
No, nothing. It's just your forehead seems bigger than last season.
I think I found a way.
We just had to not like each other for a bit.
You had to not like me, which came easy.
So easy.
Yes, maybe we can prop it open with something and you can slide.
Whoa! Oh my god, what?
Is it getting bigger?
Stop it.
No, seriously, what's with that?
It's fine, Joel.
Does it hurt?
Joel, please. You're making me self-conscious.
I'm sorry, it's just a little bit startling.
Normal head, Joel. Can we just get back to the door things?
It's planetary.
Leave it.
It's gonna have its own area code soon.
Let's rewind. The Last of Us Season 1 was a sensation. Critics couldn't stop talking about it. Gamers praised it for staying faithful to the source material. And Bella, she was everywhere. From magazine covers to late-night interviews, she was suddenly Hollywood's newest favorite. Many believe she was brave, edgy, unfiltered, but what began as refreshing authenticity quickly morphed into arrogance. Her attitude in interviews became noticeably dismissive. She brushed off fan concerns, downplayed criticism, and seemed more focused on sending messages than connecting with the audience who had supported her. Then came season 2, and everything began to crack. The tone of the show shifted, yes, but so did Bella. Her portrayal of an older, hardened Ellie felt forced. Fans noticed that she hadn't aged into the role in a way that matched the character's evolution. The emotional depth audiences expected just wasn't there. Instead, what they got was a version of Ellie that felt cold, stiff, and far too theatrical. The once cheering fan base turned critical. Memes, commentary videos, and social threads all began to highlight the growing divide between the role and the actress playing it. Rather than address the feedback with humility, Bella chose to double down. She dismissed critiques as ignorance. In one interview, she suggested that viewers simply didn't get the message. Instead of listening, she scolded, and that's where she lost many of her supporters. It wasn't just the performance, it was the attitude. Fans want stars who connect with them, who respect their voice. Bella, it seemed, had no interest in that. She believed she was above the criticism. That mistake cost her everything. Behind the scenes, things weren't much better. Reports began to leak that Bella was clashing with writers, resisting rewrites, and even skipping rehearsals. Whether it was creative disagreement or diva behavior, no one could say for sure. But the production tension was undeniable. Even Neil Druckmann, the man who once praised Bella as the future of storytelling, suddenly went silent. He didn't come to her defense. He didn't issue any public support. That silence spoke volumes. By the time the season 2 finale aired, the damage was done. Ratings were down by more than half from season 1. Critics who once applauded the series now described it as uneven and disappointing. Fans who once made fan edits and tribute videos now made compilations of Bella's most awkward scenes. It was a complete reversal, and HBO noticed. Quietly, without fanfare, the network started making moves. Press appearances were canceled. Bella was absent from major events like Comic-Con. Her social media went dark. No thank yous to fans, no behind-the-scenes content, just silence. Then came the biggest blow of all. HBO officially parted ways with Bella Ramsey. There was no public statement, no farewell post, no acknowledgement of her contributions. For a star who had once been the face of a billion-dollar franchise, this was a brutal exit. And while fans debated whether she had been fired or left on her own terms, one thing was clear: HBO wanted to move on, and fast. The fallout didn't end there. HBO scrapped plans for The Last of Us Season 3 entirely. What was once the crown jewel of their lineup was now seen as a sinking ship. Merchandise sales plummeted, viewer engagement dropped, creative teams were reassigned, and development was frozen. The series wasn't just paused, it was buried, and much of that collapse was traced back to one central figure: Bella Ramsey. There's no denying Bella had talent, but talent without humility, without a willingness to grow, becomes a liability. Her refusal to accept criticism, her disregard for the fan base, and her divisive presence made it impossible for the franchise to survive. Even some of her co-stars began distancing themselves. Social media unfollows, interviews where her name was conveniently avoided. One podcast guest, when asked about the season, simply said, "I'm just glad that chapter's over." And then there was the fan divide. As soon as news broke that Bella was no longer involved in the series, the internet lit up. Hashtags like #Justice for Bella clashed with #She had to go. Some called her a victim of toxic fan culture. Others said she brought it on herself, but even in the chaos, one truth emerged. Bella Ramsey had become too polarizing to carry the franchise forward. HBO didn't want the risk, and frankly, neither did the audience. After the storm, Bella vanished from the spotlight. No new roles announced, no red carpet appearances, no talk show guest spots. Just a vague statement from her team about personal growth and mental wellness. It was a far cry from the confident, outspoken star who once declared she wasn't afraid of backlash. Now she wasn't saying anything at all, and maybe that's the most telling part of this whole story. When the lights dimmed and the applause stopped, Bella Ramsey disappeared. Not with grace, not with gratitude, but with silence. No appreciation for the fans who supported her, no reflection on what went wrong, just radio silence. And in an industry that thrives on connection, silence can be the loudest failure of all. The lesson here is simple. Fame can be fleeting, it can lift you up, but it can also magnify every flaw, every misstep. Bella had the opportunity of a lifetime, and she blew it. Not because she lacked talent, but because she lacked the humility to grow with the role, the emotional intelligence to connect with fans, and the maturity to handle criticism. She believed she was untouchable. Hollywood proved her wrong. HBO's decision wasn't personal, it was business. And when a star becomes more of a liability than an asset, studios move on. That's the reality of the industry. Bella Ramsey learned that the hard way. And now, instead of leading one of the biggest franchises on television, she's become a case study in how not to handle fame. There's a cautionary tale here for every rising actor. Listen to your audience. Respect the people who support you. Stay grounded. Because one season, one role, one moment can change everything. And in Bella's case, it did. She went from the next big thing to yesterday's news, from HBO's rising star to an industry caution flag. And the saddest part, it didn't have to end this way. If Bella had approached season 2 with humility, if she had engaged with her fan base instead of dismissing them, if she had worked with the creative team instead of against them, maybe the story would be different. Maybe The Last of Us would still be moving forward. Maybe she'd still be the face of a global phenomenon, but that's not what happened. What happened was a collapse, a stunning, complete, and very public collapse. And now, as fans look back at what The Last of Us could have been, They don't just blame the writing or the pacing, they blame the performance that never evolved, the actress who never listened, the star who let her ego get in the way of her role. Bella Ramsey had a platform that most actors can only dream of. She was handed one of the most iconic roles in modern entertainment, and instead of elevating it, she dragged it down. Now with the show canceled, the fandom fractured, and her career stalled, the message is clear. When the spotlight's on you, don't assume it will stay there forever. You have to earn it. You have to keep earning it. And in the end, Bella Ramsey didn't. She took it for granted. And now she's gone from leading lady to a Hollywood ghost story, remembered not for her triumph, but for how fast it all fell apart.